Welcome. It is now 7:30 on the dot. So I will start, and as others might come in, that's fine. But welcome. This is our Inside Earth Expeditions, Australia, India, and Galapagos. My name is Kevin Madison. I'm the Associate Director with Project Dragonfly. I've been working with Dragonfly for 14 years. I've been to all the zoo and botanical garden sites, so welcome to the AIP folks. I've traveled to a number of the Earth Expeditions courses, so welcome to those in the GFP or doing EE as a standalone. And I'm joined with by Hayes Cummins and Angela Dill. So Hayes, you want to just say a quick hello to everyone?
Yeah, hi, I'm Hayes Cummins. I'm Professor Emeritus at Miami University. I'm a co-founder of Project Dragonfly from long ago and still continuing very strong and great today. Um, my PhD is in oceanography, and I just recently got back from teaching in Australia.
Thank you, Hayes. And Angela?
Hi, I'm Angela. I live in New Hampshire. I'm a GFP graduate in 2018, so I went through the program. I did a standalone in 2014, fell in love with the program, graduated, took another standalone, and then became part of the instructional team for Galapagos over the past 5 years. So I'm very excited to be here to share it with you.
Great. Awesome. All right, we've got a good team, and excited to see you all here again. If you want to use the chat and just say hello, like where you're joining us from and what program you're in or what led you to Dragonfly, that'll be useful, just so we can all kind of get a sense of who's here tonight. And then we'll also use the chat for some Q&A as we go along. So we've got about 30 or 40 minutes. I'm going to jump right into our content. So really, these Inside Earth Expeditions are our opportunity to share all the details that you might be wondering about. Obviously, we have extensive materials online, and you can read about the programs, but we really want to share the details that you need to make a decision of what course is best for you, and also to get you really excited for these amazing expeditions. So as I already said, welcome. We're glad you're here. Use the chat, say hello, location, any course of interest, any program of interest. Just give us a sense of things, and certainly questions as we move through. And I'll be glancing at that. Certainly, Hayes and Angela, if you see anything there that we need to stop for, let me know. But we'll keep on keeping a peek at that chat. So, Dragonfly, it's about this community, and I can say, having traveled a lot of places, with my family, which is lovely, and friends and so forth, there's something really special about a group, a community of like-minded conservation education people, because the enthusiasm just kind of goes off the charts as you're in these classes and you see a giant otter, or you see a hornbill, or you see some sort of unique marine iguana or something. Being with people that are so excited about that really makes it really powerful. And you can see our vision. We're about sustainability and connecting and living with nature and being out in nature and getting away from our screens, getting away from our devices and all these things we have in modern society, and taking a break from that. But this isn't just about traveling for traveling's sake. We also want you all to make a difference in your communities. So there's a lot of travel programs you could go on where you're just there to see a certain number of bird species or a certain number of unique things. But we want you to take the inspiration you find on these courses and then bring it back home and make a difference. So that's why we have coursework tied to this and things you can do to enact that kind of difference. And being a part of something bigger is so important and really helpful, especially these days, I think, to be a part of something positive and something bigger. You all are here because we have all these unique courses. If you're in our first year courses, but we will have some second year and third year students joining, but those are Baja, Belize, Brazil, Costa Rica, and Paraguay this year. like I said, you can certainly go on these if you're a standalone Earth expeditions or if you are an AIP student. But these will have a large number of first year students as well in the GFP and the Global Field Program. And then there's also Amazon, Australia, Borneo, Galapagos, all these other wonderful locations that you can choose from. And the Bahamas this year, you may have seen, we were trying to get that course to run, but we didn't have quite the numbers to run it this year. So we'll do that every other year. So in December 2026 and January 2027, that course will run. That's our only winter. All the rest of these are running over the summer, and they start online April, go to August, and then 8 to 10 days in person. And that's the course. You need to budget a little extra time for travel. Tuition and costs are detailed on our website, but we can certainly give you guys the link if you need that. But there is a cost page that details the breakdown for these courses. Okay, the main thing, and then I'll hand it over to Hayes in just a second to talk about Australia in detail. But take an open-hearted attitude, of course. This is a chance to disconnect from technology, like I said, bring less stuff, worry about less things. Reading the course reader is important, so you're not just coming in. You have some sense of the academic literature, and we work hard on curating that material. And then being open to your classmates and instructors, building that community. We know some people love and have like a bucket list of what species they want to see or what experience they want to have. Nature is never completely predictable. But we do our best on these courses to have your dreams come true. But keep in mind, the best thing you learn about might be something you did not expect. So be flexible and be open to that, living outside your comfort zone a little bit, because that's where a lot of growth is. Okay.
All right.
Yep. Hayes, I'll turn it over to you to get into Australia.
All right. As I said, I just got back at around the end of July for a wonderful course. We had about 20 participants in the course. Australia has been, we've been going, I think, since 2011. We have tremendous partners with the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority. If we could do the next slide. The emphasis on the course, we talk about interconnectedness from the Great Barrier Reef offshore to inland ecosystem, inland seagrass beds and coral reefs adjacent to the shore, and then all the way up to the mountains of the Paluma mountain range, which is a World Heritage Site. We also interact with indigenous peoples, and we pack a lot in about 9 or so days. It's a very extensive and complete experience where we're working with partners each and every step of the way. Next slide. So we'll see lots of animal life from kangaroos, wallabies, koalas. In fact, on this recent Australia course, we took two trips out to the Great Barrier Reef, about 45 miles offshore. And on each day, we spotted 15 humpback whales they migrate through it in mid to late July. And it was very thrilling to see this. So we saw 15 on each occurrence. We'll snorkel on 3 different days, 2 days on the Great Barrier Reef, and 1 day on Magnetic Island, which is an island that's about a 20-minute ferry ride from Townsville, Australia. And Townsville is kind of our home base. Next slide. So typically we'll start on Maggie Island, which is about 70% National Reserve, National Park. And from there, we'll explore some of the coastal ecosystems and work with local partners. Perhaps we'll do some mangrove restoration in 2026. And then from there, we take trips out to the Great Barrier Reef. And then we go to Townsville and work our way all the way to Hidden Valley, which is on the leeward side of the Paluma mountain range. So, we're talking about connections this whole time. Everything that's happening out on the Great Barrier Reef is affected by what's happening along the coast and is affected by the watershed up in the Paluma mountain range. And so we'll spend time actually going up that mountain range and to the leeward side. We'll hopefully see some platypuses, talk about the ecology and the impacts that these high altitude areas have on the coastal ecosystems. Next slide. So in terms of the climate, this year we had some rain. It's cooler up in the Hidden Valley area. And on the boats after you go snorkeling, it can be cold. So, you want to dress accordingly. We do a lot of swimming, a fair amount of hiking. We hike through the rainforest up at the top of the Paluma Range at about 3,000 feet above sea level. 2 to 4 people per room in hotels and cabins. Food's good. Transportation's bus, boat, and walking. So I don't know, is this my last slide, Kevin?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and to recap, Australia's experience is terrific. People come from all over the US and sometimes the world to come see Australia and experience Australia. Everybody that goes wants more, to do more in Australia. It's just a unique place. The Great Barrier Reef is experiencing rough times with climate change and disease. This is a global phenomenon, but it's still beautiful. It has a lot to offer, and a lot of interconnectedness among nature, people that live there, including indigenous people. So if you have any questions about it, be sure to holler. I'll be happy to talk to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Hayes. And maybe you can drop your email if you're okay with it into the
Yeah,
chat.
oh yeah, I'll do that.
And yeah, that way if people have specific questions, and certainly if you have a specific question for Australia, feel free to throw it in the chat now, and then maybe once I'm done talking about India, we'll see if there's any Australia questions we need to ask, and then we can have India questions coming in during Angela's presentation on Galapagos. And we'll have hopefully some time at the very end too. But I just want to say, Hayes, thank you for continuing to teach this course as not only a professor emeritus at Miami, a distinguished professor, one of the highest accolades you can get. And I've read dozens of, course evals and comments about the impact you've had on people. So,
Thanks, Kevin.
Australia is amazing, and we got a great team there. So yes.
Yeah, I love the experience. I wouldn't still do it if I didn't love it, and it's fantastic.
All righty. So moving a little bit, in my mind I'm thinking west, but I guess it all depends where you are. To India. I've been teaching this course. This will be my 4th year teaching the India course. It's entitled Species, Deities, and Communities. India is now the most populated country in the world. It's got a relatively, compared to the US, young population. Media, movies, pop culture, music, technology, everything is going bonkers in India. And they're going through a lot of what we have gone through in the past in the United States of trying to preserve nature that is around the cities and trying to reconnect a increasingly urban population with nature and rural livelihoods and such. So our in-country partner is called AERF, Applied Environmental Research. Forget, I can find their website later, but they're fantastic. They work with sacred groves, these Hindu groves across the country, and especially in the Western Ghats, a mountainous region. And so we go to a lot of these sacred Hindu groves and learn about the local deities that are revered in these areas. The landscape is sort of out of some sort of a dreamscape in my mind, just because it is monsoon season when we go. And when I first was signing up to instruct this course, that was a little intimidating to me. I pictured, nonstop deluge of rain, but the monsoon season just means it is likely going to rain a good amount, some each day, but there are going to be periods where it's not raining as well. Um, and when it does rain, it can be really impressive, but that tends to be more in the evenings. So it's actually a lovely time. It's cooler weather, and the people in India tend to really like monsoon season because it's a little more relaxed time. One of the highlights on this trip is chai. We'll have lots and lots of chai. I will say, and it's the same for every course with Earth Expeditions, but the communities we engage with. This was an impromptu visit to a school. We were actually at a sacred grove and heard some school children, and a teacher came and said, come be with us and talk with us for a little bit. So there's just sort of magical things like that that open up. These sacred groves have these very large trees that are kind of like protected areas of habitat within an agricultural matrix. And so AERF is looking at, hornbills and giant tree squirrels and other emblematic species that use these sacred groves. Currently, they haven't really been deeply studied for their ecology. They've mostly been looked at in terms of their cultural and spiritual impact. So this is an added value to these sacred groves. The gear you're going to wear, yeah, a poncho is good, rain gear is good, an umbrella is good. But other than that, it's comfortable. It's not like it's going to be difficult. Here, actually, this one you can see this is a sacred place. There's a Shiva temple in a cave here, and these giant, massive waterfalls. The picture doesn't do it justice, but so they will ask that you take your shoes off as you go into the sacred groves. And so being okay with getting your feet a little wet here and there, and with footwear, I could go into details, but it's having some things that can slip on and off easily, but also having some things if you want to have more firm footwear that you have available, like some rubber boots or something if you want for some of the hikes. And yeah, just magnificent kingfishers, peafowl, cool crabs, just like everywhere you look, there's some sort of interesting diversity. And then of course these shrines and this ancient and current spiritual connection. India is the home of all these the origin of major religions: Buddhism, Hinduism, Sikhism, Jainism. So we do talk about those traditions quite a bit in this course, which I think is fairly unique and certainly an area I did not know that much about, but our in-country partners really share a lot of the lore and the stories and sort of the oral history of some of these traditions. There is reforestation that occurs that we do get our hands dirty. Here's a picture of folks just sitting in one of the Sacred Grove locations. So in summary, and I got it, of course, food. It's India, so I'll just say it's amazing. Very unique foods and very special experiences with that. But warm, it's cooler when the rain is there, which is actually lovely. Some hiking and uphill walking in the villages, some tree planting. The lodging, we're in sort of eco lodge kind of setups with 2 to 3 students per room, with like an attached bathroom. And then yes, we try to make sure if you want really spicy, you can have really spicy, but we try to make sure everyone has comfort with food first. So we set ourselves up strong for success, and we're on a bus moving around the country. Okay, let me pause there and see. Thank you, Hayes, for putting in your contact information so people can grab that. All right. I don't see anything else that we need to address, so I'm going to hand it over to Angela now.
There was a question about Australia, about bathrooms and food in Australia from
Oh,
Lindsay.
okay.
I don't know
Thank
if we
you.
want to address that first.
Oh, right. I see that now.
Should
Hayes,
I?
do you want to? Yep.
Yeah. Where we're staying, at each room certainly has modern bathrooms, or you're adjacent to a shared bathroom, in each and every place we go. The food is, I would say it's Americanized. It doesn't seem that different to me, at least the food that we ate during our experience. The food was good. I, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was good. But there weren't, it wasn't as tasty as the India food looked. Because the India food is unique and so on, but the Australia food was fine. Did that answer your question, whoever asked that?
Thanks.
Okay.
All right, Angela, take it away.
All right. I'm Angela. I'm really excited to be here. I've been here. This was my 5th time to Galapagos. The theme is Islands of Change, and that's a suitable name for it because every single year is different in many regards. So this is an endemic giant tortoise. We do get to see giant tortoises in their natural habitat and then also at breeding centers as well. So Galapagos is just such an amazing, unique place, high rate of endemic species. And so it's just really interesting to see how it's changed. And a lot of people just focus on the animals, but as I've gone year after year, it's really the stories that the people that live there, the local communities have. So we can go to the next slide, please, Kevin. Yeah, so we do giant tortoise ecology and conservation. So we will be up observing tortoises in their natural habitat. It is migration season, so we are for the first half of the course up in the highlands where like the side of the volcanoes that is lush and has a lot of plant life, and garua, which is a rain. It's like a misty rain that is happening, throughout. I've been there years where it was misting the whole time we were in the highlands, and then other times where it didn't mist at all. So it's just different every single year. In July, when we go, it's the beginning of the cooler season. So you do want to wear, I always have a puffy coat, which is a great thing to pack, like a down coat that I can, use as my pillow and on the plane. And then cooler nights on the beach and then also up in the highlands as well. But we, name this the Islands of Change. They're relatively young islands compared to, say, Hawaii, where we have volcanic eruptions that are still happening on the Western Islands. And so they're constantly changing. And because of that, we talk about the biogeography and how that happens, in as a major contributor to the evolution of the species that are there. So the first half, as I said, we'll be up in the highlands camping. We'll also be focusing on invasive species removal, so mechanical removal of an invasive species. And then we are going to head down to the marine ecosystem for the last few days, where we get to do a microplastic study and then also learn about coral reef restoration on another island. So we have some pictures here, Tortuga Bay, which is one of the most beautiful places on this planet. This is where we'll do the microplastic study. This right here towards the bottom is a coral nursery about 10 feet underwater, where they're regrowing corals and then bringing them to restoration sites. And then we have a picture of a saddleback tortoise here at the breeding center, and of course, Galapagos finches. Here we're doing a study with tortoise dung, as they are the major they're migrating, so they're actually spreading a lot of the invasive species, the invasive plant species. So we study that and compare that to different areas along the island, on the main island that we'll be at, which is Santa Cruz. So I think I have talked about all the pictures here. So can we go to the next slide?
I just want to interject for a second, Angela, because I literally talked to a dragonfly student Erica Gardner Shoup
Oh, yes, 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 Erica,
today.
yes.
It just happened today that we were talking about something else, and she said the microplastics project that she did in Galapagos like changed her career trajectory in life. Like it's really affected her. So
Yeah.
very
We
cool.
work with an amazing team of researchers. Anne is one of them. So she leads a citizen science project at Tortuga Bay with the Mola Molas, which is like the environmental club high school kids of the Galapagos. And
Hmm.
it's student run. I'm also a high school teacher. I don't think I said that, but I'm a high school teacher, chemistry and biology in my day job. And then I have the environmental club I'm an advisor for. But they student led projects and microplastic. This one that Eric is talking about is just amazing. It's just really great. So we'll get to meet the Molas and get to hear from Anne, who is helping to run the project. She also works with the tortoises as well. So she's an excellent resource for tortoise research as well as the microplastic study that we do too. Yeah. Erica's great. Yeah, I was talking with her earlier as well. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I mean the microplastic study. And again, this was my 5th year here, and to watch this progress, this course, because it's relatively young compared to some of the others. And it's changed a little bit since COVID, actually quite a bit. Our partners are called ECOS, and ECOS was EPI, so a branch of Ecology Project International, but the funds were staying in the US and not on the islands to helping with the projects on the Galapagos. So now they have a Galapagos based partner that all the funds thankfully are staying in the Galapagos to work with the numerous conservation projects that are there. And so we work with Ecos. They bring us up for the first half, well, like first 5 days. We're camping in the highlands. So up, on the sides of the volcanoes, lots of lush vegetation, lots of invasive species, elephant grass, for example, which you can maybe see behind these tents. So we are camping 2 to 4 per tent, depending on the size of the tent, and they are on platforms, which is great. We stay with this family up at the Highland View, which they also cook all of our meals and snacks. And for those 5 days, we are very well fed with delicious meals. Lunch always has a soup to start as an appetizer, and then it's a full-on meal, for lunch and then for dinner, and then snacks in between as well. And so Venus and her family like cook our meals and our snacks and take care of our accommodations. There are pads in the tents, so if it can be like challenging for students that have never camped before, but you're camping in the Galapagos, which is an unreal experience. And so the picture over here to the right, this is actually our classroom, and it's our outdoor classroom, and you can see the you can see the ocean right there. You can see where we'll be in about 5 days after we arrive there. So an amazing view, open air classroom. It does rain, so again, make sure you have rain gear. And then we move down to the ocean, and we stay in like hostels, very nice hostels, where you can see here. There's some areas where we can even have like our classroom, have discussions here. But talking about like sleeping arrangements up at the Highlands, we have tents. There are composting toilets. There are solar showers. So you're camping, but there's amenities that we use. We do hike up to breakfast, which is uphill, about a 20-minute walk each of the 5 mornings, and then we also walk back. We walk quite a bit in Galapagos, and since 97% of the area is national park, we are reliant on guides, and our schedules are pretty, quick. We don't have a lot of downtime in Galapagos, just so that we can meet our guides, we can meet, the bus, we can, people are cooking our foods for us. Our chefs are also cleaning, and they're just amazing people. So it's very, very busy. But just keeping a flexible mind of that, and it's just amazing. So once we get down to the ocean, we stay at the hostels, as I said, about 2 to 4 students per room. These are like some of the nicest, when I think hostel, I think, small rooms. These are wonderful places. Just beautiful places, and everyone's very accommodating. Shared bathrooms, and yeah, I think I said 2 to 4 students per room. And so we also travel between islands. So I think if we go to the next slide, I may have a map, or I'll get to the map. But anyways, the climate, we're south of the equator here. It is their winter when we're there. So it's cool, misty, the grua, about 50s to 70s up in the highlands. The students wear, some people bring wool hats, like winter caps, like knit hats, to stay warm. Definitely a puffy coat, raincoat, good hiking shoes or boots, just to be around, the highlands and in our classroom that we have there. When we go back or down to the ocean, we're stay on Santa Cruz, and we'll go to Tortuga Bay, where we'll do the microplastic study, which is what this picture is. And it can be very hot that day, in the 80s. We're out on the beach for about 6 hours doing the microplastic study, and then also doing our own inquiries there as well. And then the sun goes down pretty early, so about 6 o'clock, and then it gets kind of cool and breezy there as well. There is like opportunities for us to snorkel and swim towards the end, which is this picture here down towards the bottom right, where you can see us in the water, is maybe my second favorite place on this planet, called El Estero, which we'll get to visit. But it's just an amazing place to see, when we get to Isabella. So I think that's good for this slide. And yes, here's our map. So in the middle, you see the Seahorse Island, and you can see each of the islands are formed from volcanic eruptions. So this is a triple junction, which is a really interesting plate tectonics, where we have the Nazca plate, the Pacific plate, and the South American plate. They're all moving away. And so we have this hot spot, uh, that has formed these islands. So the one over to the left, Fernandina, and then Isabella, the Seahorse Island, they still have active volcanoes on there. We're not anywhere near the active volcanoes. We're going to be down towards the green southern part of the Seahorse Island. I just refer to it as the Seahorse Island because it looks like a seahorse. It's really cool. And so that is where we'll spend the last 2 days of the course, doing the coral reef restoration, doing the snorkeling, and visiting El Estero. The island that you can see all the way to the right here, that's Santa Cruz. That's where we're going to be camping up in the highlands. And then we will be down in town, Port Ayora, where the breeding center is, and we'll be there to walk to Tortuga Bay as well. So physically active course for sure. This year we had 20 students. We had 3 alumni, which was awesome to, have people come back, that had graduated through the program. We had a couple people taking standalones as well. And some of them commented on just how quick and fast this course is paced. And again, due to meeting others to get into the park, meeting our guides, and, having our chefs have our food ready and everything. So there's longer walks around the campsite, daily uphill access to the eating area. We'll be mechanically removing invasive species. The hike to Tortuga Bay is 4 miles round trip. Um, if you look up at the top right hand side, you can see that we're walking through, it's a paved path. That we have the Imputia cactus here. So it's like, a pretty straightforward walk. There's a pretty steep incline with stairs to get to the start of the trail. But then we'll be on that beautiful beach where we saw the microplastic study. We will be swimming and snorkeling and in open waters, where we go and visit the coral reef restoration site. And we also take a ferry boat from Santa Cruz, which is the island to the right, all the way to the bottom of Isabella, and it can be about 3 hours. Sometimes it's shorter than that, depending on the seas. But it can be a little bumpy along the way, and so definitely bring Dramamine. And yeah, it's just amazing. And like I said, there are amazing species that we'll see: marine iguanas, giant tortoises. But sometimes we don't see certain things, other times we do. So I never say we're definitely going to see this, because, as Kevin mentioned in the first slide, it is nature, and it is completely different every year. But yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I'm honored
Thanks.
to be here. I just love this
Yeah.
program so much. And, I've been, went on 5 Earth expeditions, went through the program myself, and, just got my master's. And now I'm working as a part of the instructional team. So dream come true. I made it.
Yay, Angela. Thank you so much for all those details and sharing about Galapagos. And if you can throw your email, if you're comfortable with that, right in the chat in case people want to ask you something else
Of
about
course.
Galapagos. So yes, there should be a form that was sent to you for your request for October 25th for current students. For new students and alums, applications are due January 15th. So there's details on our webpage on how to apply if you go to Earth Expeditions website. I won't read these, but it's a great learning experience, a lot of inspiration. And our next meeting will cover all these locations. So that's in a week if you want to join that as well. So I'm going to stop share. Let's see. And just see if there's any other questions. We know everyone's busy in the evenings, so if you have to go, you can go. Feel free. We won't be offended if you drop off the call. But if you want to stay and ask some questions, you're most welcome to. And maybe and thanks for attending. Yes. And something maybe just as a little bit of a prompt. Is there one thing, Hayes and Angela, what do you think students are most surprised about that they did not expect from Australia or Galapagos?
So I was just, what popped into my mind just then was the experience with the indigenous people. Oftentimes, it's been my experience that sometimes these interactions, it's kind of planned, and they try everything. There's an attempt to be very genuine on both parties, and sometimes from my perspective, it falls a little short. But with our interactions at Mangala Station, before the Australia course started, I did a 2-week walkabout with my wife and some friends, and we went to Central Australia, Alice Springs, and to Uluru, which is a sacred spot, which was absolutely blew me away. But then the course started, and we at Mangala Station, north of Townsville, I found the experience to be so genuine at Mangala Station, and so did the students. It just blew everybody away. The depth of what was shared by this indigenous group, and how we were treated, and the things that were talked about, was just incredible. And from my perspective, I loved Uluru very much, and I recommend everybody to go there and see it. But Mangala, to me, was just a fantastic experience.
Yeah, that's great.
That surprised me.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Because I think a lot of people think Australia and they just think that, the Great Barrier Reef, you're kind of an Australian marsupials and unique animals, and the Aboriginal interactions. That's beautiful. Thanks. Angela, there's also a question for you there. How the heck do we decide what course to go on? There's so many good ones.
Well, I'm an ocean lover, so I chose the ones that were more ocean bound. My first one was Hawaii, which we no longer have. And then I went to Belize. I went to Thailand, which was amazing. I recommend that to everyone. Just such an amazing journey introspectively. I'm sure India is very similar to that as well. And then I wanted to go to Baja. So typically that's a first year course, but I chose that as my third year course, graduated, and then I went to Paraguay with Jill and Josh York. So that was amazing. And I actually had Jill and Josh as my instructors twice, once in Belize and once in Paraguay. And then I had Jill my first year as well in Hawaii. So I choose the more ocean ones. I also am a high school educator, so Paraguay was an amazing experience. And being an advisor for the environmental club, and that one's most like eco literacy and involving students. But I would say the most thing that is like so surprising with the Galapagos is the amount of people that are there. Only 3% of the total area people are allowed to live there and have that's not the park, so 97% of it's protected, but we're pushing over 32,000 people that live there. And so going to the cities, Kevin, I'd be so interesting if you went there from being there 8 years ago and just how different it is in regards. And just really investing in how people feel there, how the local community feels there, and getting them on board with conservation, especially the kids, right? Working in the schools with the kids. One of the most amazing experiences I had this year is I stayed after later, and I did some more work with the Coral Reef Restoration Project, and we had students on Isabella that we worked with, and we monitored the health of wild coral together. And they spoke Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish very well, and they didn't speak English. And so we were able still, no matter what, we were able to communicate, through our love of the species that are there. And it was just really special. So really getting on board with what the locals and their viewpoints. And, we without the people, we don't have a conservation that's successful in an area. So really getting them on board. Most of the people that come to the Galapagos are there and then they never come back. They don't have an investment. They just want to see the animals. It's really, really the people.
Huh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
So cool. And I want to second Belize and Baja. Yeah, I mean, you really can't lose. So many of these courses, we always get asked like, what's our favorite? And it's impossible to answer. They're all beautiful experiences, really. And feel so fortunate, I'm sure, to like just be able to get to go to some and to be a part of it all. So
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I was going to add, like I've taught in Earth expedition courses in Trinidad, Namibia, Costa Rica, Australia, and you can't go wrong. Like all these courses have so much to offer. They're wonderful experiences, and so I don't know. I think all of them were pretty darn good.
Totally. Yeah, well, I guess I should maybe I'll just quickly answer the question I posed too for India. I think people have a lot of preconceptions about India. Like to a lot of Western minds, India is kind of overpopulated and urbanized and maybe even just so much poverty. Like I think that's what comes to some people's minds, unfortunately. Um, I think that is rapidly changing. There still are those issues, of course, but I mean, this is a country that's really moving very quickly in so many unique ways. So and yet is preserving a lot of these cultural things because Hinduism is a welcoming, generally, there are exceptions, but a very welcoming belief system that incorporates aspects of Buddhism and other religious traditions. You know, there's a very diverse and inclusive feel to much of India. So anyway, I think that's kind of something that it surprises some people. Okay. Yes, we know, believes we need Celso on this call. We need Megan on this call. I know you guys, all like Hay said, they're all wonderful. And so much culture in each of these locations. So is there anything else anyone wants to ask that's still with us? We wrap for the night. Yeah, Thailand is definitely an option, and that's on my list too. I'm like, can I get to Thailand? I know that talk about spiritual ecology and meditation, Buddhism. It is an option this year. Yeah, so for the summer.
And I can speak to Thailand. Thailand was like, I feel like a prerequisite for life. Honestly, it changed my life in so many ways. Like learning how, strategies to grieve. I had lost my dog a few weeks before I actually left, and I was a mess. And I called Lynn, and she said, "You have to come. You will be, you're in a place where you need to be." But like we learned like 14 different ways to meditate, like ways you would never even think. We did like eco solos, and just we did like 24 hours of silence one time. It was just incredible. I really, it was really more of an internal inquiry. And I just, it's changed my life in so many ways. I mean, as all of them have. I mean, to be 8 to 10 days with like-minded individuals and the high-level conversations that you have, it's just there's nothing like it. So, yeah, I can't say enough good things about it.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining. It's so much fun talking about these things.
Right.
But we will wrap it up, and feel free to join next week if you want. Let us know if you have any questions, and we'll hopefully see you in the field. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.